When I meet your great members, right, many of them have gotten, and you yourself got rich by investing and building out Harborside in Jersey City before it was Jersey City, before it was anything. People getting rich doing stuff that other people don't necessarily want to do, I think is just an amazing thing that we never talk about.
Meat and potatoes.
That's it.
It's it. Yeah.
And the waste that they provide.
Clothes. We got garbage that we got to deal with. It's all the basics that aren't the high value sizzle that tech has, but it really adds up.
And I meet your members, and I'll say, you always say, what's your name and how are you, Kelly, and all this other stuff. And then you often get into what do you do and where do you live. And all of your members from all your chapters in Dallas to Tampa to Canada, you've got some
Dubai,
in Singapore, et cetera. A lot of them will say that they got rich by investing or starting garbage companies, self-storage companies. It is that kind of meat and potatoes. It's not NVIDIA. It's not super sexy, but it is really important. And it's a good way, I think, to get rich.
Oh, we have a lot of high-tech members as well. Today, we're 1,600 members around the globe managing $200 billion. So these are the top entrepreneurs from all over the globe. And they've made it in technology, and they've made it in basic services. And that's what we're all about.
And we were talking about how they made their money. What are they doing with it now?
So we're at an amazing moment. Our asset allocation survey just out has 79% in long-only risk-on assets.
Wow.
Public real estate, private real estate, and private equity. The amazing thing, though, for the first time in 17 years, we're below 10% in cash. We just dipped to 9%. This had been the most constant 12% over 15 years. So while we're risk on and pretty exuberant, the last time we had this level of cash was right before the great financial crisis.
That's where I thought this was going. I'm like, no, see, just when we're all feeling like, okay, everyone gets around to the position, and then there's no one left to get into the market, no one left to get into risk. Where do we go from here, Michael?
So our members, even though it's 79%, a majority of that is in private assets, private real estate, just what you were talking about. It's not just self-storage, it's every business across the globe. But it's when you can own it, roll up your shirt sleeves, make a difference. That's where the real value is created.
I mean this with affection for all of your members. I've made a lot of friends over the decade or so that I've been coming to your events. That makes me nervous. I think to follow up on Kelly's point, when I hear 79%, everybody seems excited. That's great. But when I hear the cash level's the lowest since right before the financial crisis, I'm not sure that's great. Is the exuberance, to coin a phrase, irrational?
So that's what makes our meeting so exciting, because the majority of our members are exuberant, but many have lived through the problems we're talking about. You know, if you look at the Russell 3000 from last year, 46% of the companies lost money. Only the average would have been a 3% return. It's the Magnificent Seven that distorted or obscured. So when you have that kind of diversion or dispersion, sometimes that's a harbinger of some concerns ahead.
What else jumped out to you from kind of what they're doing lately?
You know, obviously, the areas of digital currencies remain really exciting. We have some members who are all in. It's become a gold substitute. Gold isn't an inflation hedge. It's an instability hedge. There's a lot of instability around the world, and people think that in America they're concerned about it. But if you live in Argentina or Lebanon or any of countries that are under risk, Bitcoin is taking on a new role. So we have about 1 to 3% of 200 billion in assets, so about 6 billion in assets in digital currencies.
And regular gold, because I do a speech, I talk for about a half an hour, and then I take questions for about a half an hour. And a lot of the questions this year were about Bitcoin, they were about gold, they were about debts and deficits. I would say it's interesting that the data, the 79% number doesn't belie. There is an underlying nervousness, and I think it's, by the way, warranted. And if you start and build a company from scratch, as a lot of your members have, there's a natural level of nervousness, right? One of the best business books I've ever read is called Only the Paranoid Survive by Andy Grove, who founded the then great Intel.
Then great.
Well, that's a different topic.
Yeah.
But I think it's right to be a little paranoid all the time.
So gold is for traditionalists, and Bitcoin is a little new age, but they often play the same role. They're perceived as storehouses of value that are not subject to government fiat. When you get out of that, when you have a truly global market like that, people feel like there's some real refuge there to be found.